Hi, my name is Jason Crane. I am on the coast of Maine right now. I'm pretty close to a highway, which you can probably hear. I live in a minivan full-time that's been slightly converted in the back to become a little home. And I travel around. Right now, as I mentioned, I'm in Maine. It's the first time I've really spent any appreciable time here, and I only arrived a few hours ago. So I haven't explored too much yet. I have a national parks pass, so tomorrow I'm looking forward to going to Acadia National Park for the first time. I'm a poet and an interviewer, and I primarily make my money in two ways. People support my van travels, and they get essays and videos and things like that from all the places I go and the thoughts I'm having. I also host a podcast for the last 14 years called The Jazz Session, in which I interview jazz musicians, and you can find out about that at thejazzsession.com. Thinking back to the last 12 months, in January of 2020, my partner and I were living in State College, Pennsylvania, and on the 1st of March 2020, we moved to Tucson, Arizona. And at the end of 2020, about October, after 5 years together, we split up after essentially being just enclosed in our apartments for a year in Tucson and really not having much of a life, which I think probably contributed to the end of our relationship. So when it ended, I wasn't really sure what to do exactly. So I was kind of at a loss until I discovered van life through a friend. With the help of some of the extra money that we got from the federal government in 2020, I was able to buy at that time 21-year-old, now 22-year-old minivan, a '99 Dodge Caravan, and essentially took out the seats, put a new floor down, and a cot and a stove and various things inside that would make it livable. And on December 1st of last year, I headed out on the road with no real idea what was coming. I needed to move my residency from from Arizona to somewhere on the East Coast because I'm diabetic and my healthcare all comes through Arizona. And if I wasn't really going to be in Arizona, my healthcare only works in Arizona because, I live in the United States and we don't have national healthcare. So I came to the East Coast, spent Christmas with the kids, and I just started driving south. And I have now traveled about 18,000 miles since December 1st, all over the country. During all of this time, I've been writing because I'm a poet, and throughout the last 5 months and change that I've been on the road, poetry has been an absolutely vital way for me to keep in touch with what's going on inside me. In addition to my meditation practice, because I'm a Buddhist, those two things together have been a real lens into what's happening inside me. So it's been absolutely essential. I think what poetry can absolutely allow you to do, and I've always thought this, is it can act as a kind of spidey sense. It can allow you to slow down time so that you retain the knowledge of small moments. And so much of our life is about just small moments passing almost unrecognized. And over time, we bury the impacts of those small moments. And we need some way to deal with their effect on us. And for me, poetry is one of those very important ways. To recommend somebody to you that I've noticed a lot of people haven't heard of, but who's my favorite living poet, I recommend that you check out Albert Goldbarth. I really adore Walt Whitman and Basho, the famous traveler and haiku poet, although we could have a whole other conversation about when haiku originated and whether he was one. But anyway, those are three poets that I really like. That's two white men and one Japanese man. I apologize for that, but those are three people who mean a lot to me and did in my formative years, and I've expanded my poetry reading after that. But those were three people who really have meant a lot to me. April was National Poetry Month, and I wrote a poem every day in April. And then a friend gave me a notebook that has 62 pages in it, and I've decided just to write a haiku every day until those pages run out, which will, be at the end of June. But I'm occasionally writing longer poems as well during that time. And this is one called Movement that I wrote at a friend's house just a couple days ago. Movement. Late in the afternoon, on an early May day, the dance unfolds across the house. An essay at the kitchen table, grilling meat on the upstairs porch. One makes a slingshot. Another searches frantically for spare headphones because who can live without music? The dog naps with a belly full of chicken. The cat naps with a belly full of mystery. One of the Marley kids is singing through the Bluetooth speaker. I'm writing a poem trying to freeze a moment already lost to swift time. So again, my name is Jason Crane. You can go to jasoncrane.org to find all my poetry. You can follow me on Instagram at Vanarchism for my van travels, at Poems by Jason for my poetry. You can also contribute to my van travels and get essays and photos and videos and all kinds of cool stuff at patreon.com/Vanarchism, anarchism with a V at the beginning. And you can hear my podcast, The Jazz Session, at thejazzsession.com and contribute to it at thejazzsession.com/join. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget that it is time to submit your poems. St. Andrew's Pandemic Poetry Contest deadline is May 15th. So as I'm recording this, that's a week away, and I'm not sure when you're going to see it. So it's real soon. So get your poems in. It's definitely worth it. Keep writing. Thank you so much. Bye.